Good morning from the Jurors Centre here in Perth for the Co-op Funeral Care Scottish International Open 2017. Let's bring on your players. District pairs, triples and fours champion, all the way from South Africa, Martin Head. Former World and Scottish International Open champion, ranked number 14 in the world, from England, Mervyn King. Now hand you over to commentary with Darren Burnett and Janice Giller.
Well, thanks very much, Tom, for that introduction. And here we go, folks. The first game here at the Co-op Funeral Care Scottish International Open 2017 from Live and Active at the Jurors in Perth. And as Tom mentioned, delighted to be joined in commentary by Darren Burnett. Here we are again, Darren.
Yeah, absolutely, Janice. It hardly feels like 8 months since the last ball was rolled in Blackpool, and here we are in Perth again, a venue very close to where I live, so it's always a pleasure to come here.
Yes, it's the first event of the World Bowls Tour ranking season. We have the Scottish International Open here, and then obviously we go on to the World Championships at Potters in January, and then the International Open at Blackpool Newton Hall in March. And the first game on here today, interesting one, Darren, because the young gentleman from South Africa, Martin Head, he's only been playing 2 years, and I hear from sources in South Africa he's really excelling, but he's up against Mervyn King, which is a hard task for your first game on the portable rink.
Yeah, absolutely. You see the way Mervyn started the game, and that's the type of stuff I would expect from Mervyn. You know, he's a very good draw player. He'll just try and put them in there and put Martin under pressure. It's always going to be difficult in your first event, but Martin just has to try and hang in there, stay in the sets and give himself a chance.
Great opening bowls here by Mervyn King. I know early practices, all the players have the opportunity to practice here before they play. They book sessions. You can have a half-hour session. I know Martin struggled his first session on here, as the greens in South Africa are quite considerably heavier than the portable rink, which is probably why Mervyn's decided to go fairly short to begin with.
Yeah, obviously that sort of half hour before the game allows both players to roll up, but it also allows you to sort of suss out your opponent, I suppose, and Mervyn, I think, quite deliberately has went short here, and he's paid off. He's played 2 cracking first bowls.
Yeah, just covering those back bowls just in case Martin decides to reach. Again, not knowing a player, you don't know whether they're an attacking player or just like to draw. Don't forget, folks, if you can't actually stay with us all day, you can pick up all the results on worldbowlstour.tv, but try and stay with us on this streaming on YouTube and Facebook Live if you can. And we do have the opportunity for chat for any questions to put to Darren. Oh, that's a better bowl from Martin. That's a nice settling bowl, Darren.
Yeah, absolutely. That's just what he required.
Gap on the last bowl is
excellent
4
third
inches.
delivery there, just coming in for the second shot. And I think Mervyn will just be trying to draw here, and even if he sits a bit wide of the head, just covering that area just in case the jack squeezes through. Ideally, he just wants to try and draw a back toucher.
Just finishing a touch short. Martin might change hand here, try and reach to the red bowl of Mervyn's. He has.
Yeah, he just has to play this carefully. He can't afford to be too quick at it, just in case he gets his own ball out of there. But it's just really a full draw. Turn the jack, he makes a pair.
One shot, Mervyn King.
Well, the opening shot here at this championship goes to Mervyn King, 1 to red. We also are on Twitter. We've had quite a few people joining us on Twitter, and our Twitter is WBT_TV. If you'd like to get some of the bits and pieces we put on there every day for you, please join us. Marker for this game is the head of our umpires at
Jack length, 23
WBT,
metres,
Alan
23.
Thornhill. He's taken over charge of the umpire contingency, and I think it looks like it's Dan Blewett on umpiring duties.
Again, Mervyn pulled the mat far up here. It's another kind of shortish jack. And again, he started with a reasonably good opener here. Just pulling up a foot or two short.
Good shot there of Dan Blewett, umpire for the day, or for the morning rather, session. Hard to qualify from some of these countries, Darren. I mean, Martin must have played well. I believe he beat Craig Rimington in the final to get through, and Craig, of course, is a very familiar face on the World Bowls Tour
18
qualifiers.
inches.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, the standard of qualifier is getting stronger and stronger every year, and you know, if you're playing a qualifier from anywhere in the world now, you're going to have to play your A game. You know, you don't get away with underperforming very often now. So, but it's always a difficult experience. You know, if you've qualified here for the first time, then the environment, the playing surface is something they probably don't get a chance to practice on very often. So, a couple of days practice before the match, it's not a great deal, to be honest. So, you know, it's always difficult for an overseas qualifier just to adjust to the conditions and be consistent. And I think that's the important thing. It's all about consistency.
He's got a chance here. Just gets a piece of the jack. He might just be unlucky. Just pushed it to Mervyn's ball. He's got a good second there, though. It gives him something to work
One
with.
red.
Yeah, absolutely. He's got a nice delivery for the indoor surface. He's getting them away
Yeah, 6 inches short of jack
very
high.
well, so that'll bode him well as the match goes on.
Some fancy new graphics for you folks in the top left-hand corner of your screen. We've now got a little mark that tells you which player's taken the jack, and also
One red.
we've been able to incorporate the flags in there as well, which is good. I think you would have heard Tom Weir, who's the Deputy Tournament Director, announce that we're now on robotic cameras that are operated up from the gallery here. All modern technology, Darren. They'll soon have people talking from computers. We won't be needed anymore.
Many might be happier with that, Janice. but,
Yes, there is that. It's not a clear draw line in here for Mervyn. Might have to just make sure he's just behind, I think, Darren, and then he takes a running bowl away from Martin Head.
Yeah, Mervyn's sticking with his backhand here. He obviously feels he can just sort of draw around that green ball and sort of draw another shot. And as you say, if he's just overplayed, he'll come to a good spot anyway.
Yeah, it's certainly reached a good home there.
One red. One red.
Looks like we've got viewers out there in Australia already tuning in, Darren. It's good to have you with us, folks. Good that we have all these matches now live.
Very close here. He just has to hold up a bit longer. He might just hook across at the end. Great effort.
Gives another one to Mervyn King.
One shot, Mervyn King.
Of course, for new viewers, we play 2 sets of 9 ends. It's
Set score 2-0 after 2 ends.
very much a question of if you happen to lose the first set, you can regroup for the second set, and then if it's 1 set all, we go into the famous tie breaks, which is always good for the viewers. But the players would rather avoid them if possible, Darren.
Yeah, I mean the tie breaks have been around for a while now, so I think we're all quite sort of used to them. And it's just part of the match now. As you say, you probably hope you don't go into it, but
25.
once you're in that position, you've just got to sort of get on with it. And Martin will be quite pleased with the way he started the match here. The first end could have been a much different story if he didn't get a good third one in. So 2-1s, he's still very much in this set. He's not lost anything drastic, and he'll just be looking to get his first bowl or two in as close as he can. Build up the head.
Yeah, it's the worst thing you want to be doing is dropping a 3 or a 4 on the first end. I know Craig Remington's come over to support Martin over here, and he was saying his first game on the portable was against Mervyn King, and he dropped a 4 at the first end. So he said he was hoping Martin wasn't going to repeat his 4 at the first end. If you want to come down and watch live, there's still a few tickets available early on in the week, I know, but certainly middle towards the back end of the week we've had sellouts on some of the days and some of the sessions. So, but do give Dewars Centre here a call, and the guys at reception will let you know what's available. It's always good to watch live, really. I mean, it's great we have this facility for all the games on the streaming, but quite good to get the atmosphere and you get to see the players in person.
I think ends like this one are ones that Martin has to capitalise on. It's not a bad end from Mervyn, but he left him room there, and he's unfortunately failed with his first 2. So I think if Martin has a chance in this match, these are the type of ends he really has to try and take advantage of.
Yeah, Mervyn's pulling up short again here. Because that would be the settler really for Martin, wouldn't it, to actually get on the card, get that shot on the board. Well, he's down a very good track here.
I think he
What's
needs
his
to
weight
run.
like? Yeah.
3 red.
Well, at the moment, Mervyn King's getting away with this end, holding 3.
It's so often the case in these matches. It's probably Mervyn's loosest end in the sense that he doesn't have a bowl within probably 18-20 inches of the jack. He's certainly coming in closer this time, but he's actually lined 4 shots. So this is a really big bowl from Martin.
A tough draw line, but he really just needs to get a second bowl in. Still plenty of ends left in this game. Start to play a runner and miss at this point. Closer here, Darren.
Just needs to keep running. He'll certainly save this. Might get second shot if he stays up.
One shot, Mervyn King.
He'll be really happy with his last bowl there. He certainly saved a lot of damage losing 4 shots. Disappointing thing for Martin will be that he just didn't do well in these earlier bowls, that he might have then taken control of the end. But certainly he's lost the first 3 ends. He's only 3-0 down.
He'll be getting used to the spectators in the crowd and the fact that the markers and umpires are out there now. It's something that the top 16 are familiar with, and quite a few of the qualifiers that have qualified before are familiar with, but just nice that he's not dropped some big counts so he can settle a little bit. Only 3 behind, and there's still 6 ends to play in this first set.
I think it's always difficult in the first match as well. As a qualifier, you'd probably rather there was 2 or 3 games on before your match just to get used to the setup, as you say, and having to come out the blocks in the first match is always going to be a bit more difficult.
Just overplayed this, needs to try and get back to the Mervyn King bowl, but it's not in a bad place. Mervyn, of course, is one of the players that's drifted down the rankings in the last couple of years. He's down to number 14 now. when you start to get to 14 and 15, you start to get in that danger zone of drifting out of the top 16. So really, he'll want to try and tie a few games together here to consolidate his position and try and move up the rankings.
Yeah, absolutely.
Favour
It's
two red.
so very true that you want to try and stay certainly inside the top 11 or
Fast jack,
12 and
climax, 8 inches.
try and work your way back up the way. If you slip down into these positions, you know yourself, if you have a bad season, then you may well just drift out.
Close again from Mervyn here.
3 red.
Just a draw here for Martin, trying just to rest the red ball that's sitting beside the jack, or ideally if he could just have a small trail of the jack, he would make a couple. Just has to be aware not to overplay this, because his hand will just sit past.
Which is exactly what he's done. Mervyn needs to try and cover that trail now, really, because there is still a possibility if Martin just tightened up a bowl. And
Yeah, absolutely. I think Mervyn just runs round here. He doesn't want to leave him a chance of making a 3 or a 4. He's line 3 himself. He's 3-0 up on the board, so yeah, absolutely. Come round, split the green balls up just in case that jack does get trailed.
he's playing a runner here. Lot of weight.
Very close. Got it.
Well, he's got it.
unlucky
He's going to be
throw.
unlucky. If it's gone out the side of the rink there, which we think it probably has, and goes on the respot, looks like it could be 2 or 3 to... No, the way that Alan's looking at it, I think it might have remained in the rink, Darren, actually.
It's really hard for us to tell here, you know.
Yeah.
It's,
Oh,
if
there
it's
we go. Ditch cam's nicely showing. It looks like it's just remained in the confines of the rink.
Just don't know where the toucher went. You know, obviously the ball that Martin played to drive with was a toucher, but we're not sure what ball that is.
Perfect.
Umpire's been called on. Are we assuming then that the touch is the one in the ditch, possibly, Darren, because they've left that ball there at the moment? It was hard to see because obviously it just went out of the vision of our cameras there for a moment. There you go, that just proves our camera can move over there. Well, if that is the toucher in the ditch, it's going to get Martin on the scorecard. Good delivery that, Darren. Nice clean runner. Confident, he played it with confidence.
He did. He ran off his forehand, which just the way the head had shaped up, it looked like it might be slightly easier to play off the
One
backhand.
shot,
But
Martin head.
he played it off the forehand. He hit his target absolutely perfect, and he got his reward with the jack just staying in the boundary of the rink, and it was his toucher that came through with it. So
Set score
excellent
3-1
shot.
after 4 ends. Jack length 28.5 metres, 28.5.
Well, he's changed the jack length as we expected. Just struggled with that that lead. We've just been hearing off our producers that there's a few comments coming in on the Facebook chat. We only actually receive the YouTube chat in the commentary position at the moment, but our producer's madly rushing round at the moment to try and load the Facebook chat for us. So if you are sending us some nice questions, we will be with you shortly on that. 3-1, Darren, 4 ends in. Not bad if you can just get another end in here. Good line. Just short again though.
He just can't, you know, he can't keep leaving
Double
himself
gap
these hard
finishes.
shots. He's one of these times he's going to fail. So it's a great recovery the last end, but he now needs to just try and settle in and get his first 2 balls operating. Because there's one thing for sure, Mervyn is not going to give him too much room. Certainly down a good track again, but he needs to run this out. I think he may just be pulling up short of the balls here, just on the wrong side of him.
2 red.
Every chance when he comes to play his next ball, he'll be 3 down again, to be honest. Not much of a target for him to run at this time either, so...
3 red.
Yeah, like you say, Darren, holding 3 now. It puts a lot of pressure on his last bowl again.
He's out in a big wide line, he just has to have the right weight here now to hook back towards the middle. He's just overplayed it, he just won't quite get back.
Opportunity here for Mervyn King to score a 4. Last delivery coming up. We have had one question on Facebook there about the TV coverage from the BBC. Of course, we're live with you for every bowl played on YouTube and on Facebook Live. So stay with us if you can. If you want the BBC coverage, that starts on Monday at 1 o'clock on BBC 2 Scotland. There's some red button coverage there as well.
Three shots, Mervyn King.
Set score 6-1 after 5 ends.
Yeah, we've had a question or two coming in, and one of them's about what make and model of bowls the players are using. In this match, both players are using Taylor bowls. I suspect Mervyn's using his normal Taylor Ace, and I believe Martin is using Taylor International.
Yeah, I know he was trying several different sets out there, was Martin, in the practice, Darren, when, quite rightly too, when these players first arrive, it's worth trying different sets to see which ones you feel comfortable with. A lot of the overseas don't bring their own bowls, so World Bowls Tour do carry a pool of bowls. All the main manufacturers do have sets of bowls you can try if you didn't want to travel with them. And I'm pretty sure the last I heard off Martin, he was playing with internationals. I know while he was over here, he was hoping to be able to pop into the Taylor factory at Glasgow. Oh, that's a better opener from Martin.
Absolutely, that's just what he needs to do here. Get these first 2 bowls working. They often set up the end, give you opportunities later as the end develops.
You know yourself, Darren, as soon as you put 1 or 2 bowls short, you start causing yourself all sorts of problems, but that's they call him the king of the draw, And that's Mervyn King draw shot. Can play in any position, can Mervyn, and internationally he's played various different positions, but he does favour leading.
1 red.
Last ball's not going to help Martin's cause as this end develops. He's just kind of left it short, just sort of in the drawing line, so plenty of room for Mervyn to come round it, but it's now very difficult for Martin to get back round and turn that jack.
Gone a bit deeper. Martin might try and change something with his third bowl. Sticking with the backhand. Oh, this might just hang off, Darren, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. If he plays that with any pace, there is no way he can get back past his green bow and back to the jack. He just has to be the perfect draw now if he's keeping that hand.
It's one of these things we've said about many times, the differences with playing the portable rink. Just a reaching bowl can often just hang off. You often find the top players on the rink play a little bit firmer, try and move something. Close here, Mervyn. Oh, what a great bowl that is. Well, what does Martin play here, Darren?
You know what, he's 6-1 down, it's N6. If it was myself, I'd be taking a gamble here. You know, forehand runner, he put a nice forehand runner a couple of ends ago. If he gets red ball into red ball, he could just about remove the two of them and leave his line 2 or 3 shots. It obviously can go wrong, but he's 2 down anyway. I think he's got to take the risk.
It looks like that's what he's thinking about. Yeah, here we go. Forehand runner. Oh, he didn't like that from his hand. Underline. Oh, he's got a little bit of fortune there. Might have even got shot out of that. Didn't like it. Body language was all wrong. He thought, I've missed this, and then a little bit of fortune off a short bowl.
Yeah, he certainly had a result there. He was well under. It's whether he's maybe scored 1 or 2. He pushed the green ball to the side of the rink further up there, just in front of the marker. So
yeah, I think the umpire's been called on again.
He's certainly using every inch of this portable rink.
Yes,
He's had the jack in all corners.
Yeah, it's virtually gone out the corner of the other side of the rink. There we see the jack in the ditch with our wonderful little ditch cam. Trying to improve our coverage for you all the time. We've gone now from, we started off I think with 2 cameras, then we went to 3, and now we've got 7 cameras out there for you, so it certainly looks like this bowl at the bottom of your screen, folks, is shot, so I think he's measuring for 2.
One shot, Martin Head.
Well, a little bit of fortune there, but I think now, Darren, he needs to settle on this lead bowl to his own jack.
Set score 6-2.
He'll go longer, certainly, but needs to try and get that first bowl close.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, the 2 shots he scored have come off of 2 running balls. One was a very well executed runner, one was a more fortunate runner. But yeah, he has to get his draw balls performing. Just even to build up some shots, even if he's maybe not going to get this set, just to give himself some confidence going into the second one.
Quite surprises me, he's gone 24 metres there. Mervyn's been trying to send a 23 metre jack, so a metre further. Oh, that's a good opener.
Gap on that one is 7 inches.
Got quite a few people watching in Australia, Darren, and of course your opponent tomorrow is one of the Australian qualifiers, Simon Alden. Have you ever come across Simon on the portable before? I don't think he's been actually over in any of the events, so...
Yeah, no, I don't really know anything about Simon, if I'm being perfectly honest. I know that he's qualified from Australia, and to do that, you must be playing good bowls. So, yeah, it's unusual sort of to not know anything about your opponent, but
He must have played well to come through the Australian qualifiers, that's the key. He's had a few practice sessions out there. I can give you one piece of information, he does play in shorts. He's another Stephen Halmai, likes to be out there in his shorts.
just for the benefit of the viewers, they can remain safe. I won't be wearing my shorts tomorrow.
Oh, now, Martin. A little bit stronger end from him here, end 7. If we pick up a 1 or a 2 here, it gives him a chance going into the final couple of ends of the first set.
Absolutely, he's laying a good one here. If he can just back it up with another one, which he's very close to doing. It's a good ball here, but just falls back in, it might count.
To green.
If it just leaves Mervyn the clean draw, either hand. Nothing in his way on either hand. Oh, looks close here. Certainly watching this bowl. There we go. Front
One red.
toucher. Well, Martin can just, he's asked
Timeout called.
for a timeout. So he's just going to come up and have a look at this. I mean,
Martin has 4 timeouts remaining.
we can have a look at that that head. Darren, I'm not sure what he might think of playing. What we thinking? Just the...
He has the backhand draw like he did the last ball, just to turn the jack round the corner. Very tough shot. He could try and play something more forceful, to try and push one of the red front ones up onto the pack, and the jack might squeeze through. So it's just how
like I said,
confident he
there's
feels.
also, because he's been playing forehand, he could actually attack down there, but it looks like he's just sticking to the draw down the backhand. The problem with this is if you just reach that touch further than just the draw.
Yeah, I mean, it was a difficult shot, but I can understand him trying it. You know, if he plays it perfectly well, he can turn the jack, make a 2. The forehand runner, he was probably always going to be pushing the jack into the open space, and playing to Mervyn's capabilities was probably going to draw it. So I can kind of understand him trying it, but it was going to be a very difficult shot to execute.
Mervyn just trying to repeat his previous delivery, drawing in, trying to get to this back green bowl. Just overplayed it, but he won't be disappointed. It's another end gone.
1 shot.
Another
Mervyn King.
shot on the scoreboard for the world number 14, Mervyn King.
Set score 7-2 after 7 ends.
Don't forget, we're here with you all day with every bowl sent live on the YouTube and Facebook streaming. But if you can't stay with us, if you've got to go off and play a game of bowls yourself or be taken out for the wife for lunch, we are putting all the results on worldbowlstour.tv. A loose opener there from Mervyn.
Realistically here, Martin probably has to look to score probably 3 shots to give him any sort of chance going into the last end.
Well, he reached with that bowl. It's made Mervyn's a better bowl, but I think Mervyn will want to be closer still with that. Like a couple of gremlins in our score system there. One of the South African gremlins must have appeared. Your score, folks, is currently after 7 ends. It's 7-2 to Mervyn.
I'm quite sure Martin would rather it was 6-4, but yeah, no, 7-2. But he's given himself a chance here. He's got 2 balls just under the jack, so Mervyn will be aware of that. I think he'll just change hands, try and just draw to that green ball, the last green ball that was played.
Tightish line, but if you could get a piece of the jack, just underweight really more than anything. Like you say, chance for Martin here.
Slightly favour red.
Ah, there we go, gremlin removed.
Possibly just overplayed this one. If he comes past everything, it's not a disaster. He doesn't want to turn the red across the head. Probably just turned that red ball into one place he didn't want to really do that.
Oh, and just having a look at that, I don't think it really changes Mervyn's shot. The draw down, the forehand still open to him. He tucks the jack, he could really put Martin in all sorts of bother. Just wanting to cover these bowls at the left hand side of your screen. Couldn't have really walked up and placed that better, Darren.
No, absolutely not. 5 behind, 2 ends to play.
2 red.
I suppose it's really decision time here, whether he tries the perfect draw. He could turn the jack and make a 2, or he goes a bit quicker. He lifts the jack, there's a chance he's going to come on to 2 red balls at the back, take them out as well.
It's often one of those situations where you think, if I could just get my drawing back for the second set. He's overplayed this, Darren.
Yeah, I think he's just got kind of caught in between 2 shots there, and that's really difficult to play on the rink. You know, it's just your weight has to be perfect.
2 shots in the first set, Mervyn King.
Mervyn will be happy. He's got the first set in the bag, and Martin just has to put that one away and start again. Back to 0-0. That's the consolation for him. First set's away now.
Yeah, first set gone. Chance of winning the second set and taking it into a tie-break with the world number 14 Mervyn King. Stay with us for the game after this. It's Jonathan Ross versus Perry Martin. Again, this will be very, very interesting game coming up, because Jonathan Ross is one of the players struggling at the bottom end of the rankings. He's ranked 15 in the world. And Perry Martin won the tour card, and he's one of the young up-and-coming players in England. And a lot of English players will have come across him at nationals and internationals, and this is his first experience of actually the portable rink, but he's got the tour card, so that gives him all 3 of the World Bowls Tour ranking events in this season. Be interesting game, that one. Next one up. Meanwhile, Martin's just settling this first end second set. Managed to beat Mervyn King's bowl.
Yeah, it's a Pretty good correction from Mervyn again. Tough crowd this morning. He's drawn about 5 or 6 inches off the jack and barely a ripple.
Oh, I think they're still recovering from the breakfast, Darren. Well, the guys certainly haven't bothered the shot clock. We've had one time out.
Yes.
Gets 30 seconds to deliver the bowl from the previous bowl coming to rest, and you can take a time out, which is 60 seconds, and you have 5 of those over the course of the 2 sets.
1 red.
Quite a slow, deliberate delivery from Martin Head. I think that's when it affects the qualifiers more, Darren, if they've got a very slow delivery and they're worried about the 30-second shot clock, but there is plenty of time.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he gets the ball away very smoothly, which is just really what you're looking for, especially on indoor surfaces.
Oh, Mervyn just wanting to draw another bowl in here, get himself off to a good start in the second set.
Yeah, and he's done that. He's added a second shot here.
2 red.
Martin does have back position.
This is perhaps one of those situations where he perhaps should have gone up after his third bowl to have an idea what the situation was. He's played a timer in the area.
Very close.
One away.
Just remove one ball. He was unlucky there. He could have got the both balls out. Jack movement
One
would have been in his
shot,
favour.
Mervyn King.
It's reduced the damage from 2 to 1, so good strike again.
We've got quite a few games on for you today. After 2 o'clock this afternoon, we'll have a cracking game with Stuart Anderson versus Michael Stepney, a battle of the Scotsmen. Then we've got Jamie Chesney versus Daniel Alanim, who I've just seen, I think, walk into the auditorium somewhere, the Israeli qualifier.
Track length 23
Andy
metres,
Thompson
23.
MBE versus Steve Halmite. Mark Dawes versus Graham McKee. And into the evening, we will have Les Gillett versus Scott Edwards. Some really good games on the cards. It's like, Darren, you mentioned earlier, a lot of the qualifiers now, the quality of qualifiers coming through. It's certainly a testing games for the top 16.
Yeah, absolutely. There's some excellent first round matches in this event, and that's the same wherever we go now. You know, there's always some tasty looking first round matches. I know myself, obviously don't know my opponent here so well, but at the World Championships I've drawn Graham McKee from Ireland, who had a great year last year at it, so a very tough opening round match for myself there. So yeah, it's no matter where you go now, you know you're in for a tough match straight from the word go, and that's why you've got to bring your A game all the way through the event.
Yes, and Graham McKee's actually qualified in all 3 this year. So just sits outside the top 16, so if he could tie a few games together in each of the events, he's another one that could sneak his way into that top 16. So yeah, that could be an interesting season ahead. A couple of players in jeopardy at 15 and 16 in the top 16 ranking, and 3 or 4 players, 3 of whom are playing here this week in the form of world number 17 Neil Furman, Steve Halmite and Graham McKee are both here, and there you've got the sheet over there, but I think they're at fairly high up in that ranking at the moment. Yes, Steve Halmite's actually at 19, so he has a chance as well. Graham McKee at 21, so chances of a shake-up, which also puts the top 16 on the on the toes as well, which makes
Your
for
bowl
good viewing.
gap is 10 inches.
Again, Martin finds he's still under a little bit of pressure here. Mervyn's put 2 good ones in. Just a sort of forehand draw, just arriving here, just to try and rest the balls. That's probably the only thing he's got.
Just overplayed it. So it's one of those, Darren, where you don't want to be short, but you overreach.
2 red.
Yeah, he's probably got two thirds now, so if he did want to play a bit quicker, he could certainly do that. Try and take the 2 red balls out of there. If he pushes his own green one onto it, he's got a chance.
It's changing down the backhand, a lot firmer. It was actually forehand, wasn't it? I thought he'd lined up on the backhand on the mat.
No, he kept his forehand. It was the right shot to
2
play,
shots,
really.
Mervyn King.
Just a ball wide of his target.
Set score 3-0 after 2 ends.
Mervyn's 2 balls were practically just an inch or 2 off the jack, you know, and Martin's draw weight has not just been quite on it, so I think it was the correct shot to play. If he hit his target, there was a chance the 2 red balls could have went out.
Okay, 24.5 metres, 24.5.
Put his runners pretty well.
He's just disappeared off the rink for, as we sometimes say, and in the office talk to yourself. But he's played very well. He's just missed a couple of opportunities, and then you get the likes of Mervyn King doing something like drawing a front toucher, which puts all the pressure back on.
Yeah, absolutely. Mervyn's renowned for being a great draw bowler, and he'll just keep doing that all day. The 1 or 2 opportunities that Martin did get the first set, as you say, just unfortunately failed to capitalise.
Short again with that delivery. All about just getting one in somewhere close.
Just pulling up short again. It's all about the pace, because his line's been absolutely perfect twice, just not quite getting the pace of the rink.
Yeah, we've been speaking to various as they've come off from practice sessions. I know when the rink was first put down on
3 red.
Tuesday of this week, it was running very nice and quick, but as the week goes on, it's settled, and the opinion out there seems to be it's all about getting your weight right, Darren, more than anything.
Yeah, so often that's crucial, you know. If you get your weight right, then most of the times the lines will take care of themselves. Often the classic case there where Martin's just come up twice short, he just overcorrects, and again he's leaving it just too open for Mervyn, who'll put balls in there all day.
Yeah, he could be looking at 4 down again here with 1 delivery to come. Well, that does give Martin a rest of a bowl, but having put 2 short and 1 through, it's all about managing to find that perfect weight.
Certainly down a good line again, just all on his pace.
Yeah, just overplayed it again. Cut the count down, but the ends are starting to slip away from the South African Martin Head now. Two declared. Umpire being called on to decide which of those two bowls is third shot.
2 red conceded the measure.
Umpire's earned his money in this match, third visit.
We have 3 officials on officiating every game. We have the umpire, the marker, and we also have one of the officials on the shot clock. He operates a shot clock. I believe that's Dan McManus this morning. And one resting official, which is Mike
2
Davis
shots,
at this
Mervyn
event
King.
for this game. Really, it's getting to the stage now, Darren, where it's a must-win end for Martin. He has got to win this set
That's 5-0
to
after
take us
3.
into a tie-break. Mervyn King won the first set 9-2, leads 5-0 in this second set.
Jack length 23 metres, 23.
Again, sticking to the shorter length jack. It's working for him, so don't fix something that's not broken.
Yeah, absolutely, and you know, just the way the match is panned out, I just can't see Mervyn playing a loose enough end to give Martin a multiple count, so he really has to start scoring some of these next few ends just to keep himself in this set.
All about his weight with this one. Very good track. Can it make the trip?
Yeah, it's a really good opener this time. Drawn inside Mervyn's first one, which is a much better start.
Sometimes you see that with qualifiers, Darren, if they've lost the first set and lose the first couple of ends of the second set, sometimes they relax that little bit more and can start to bring their A game to the table. But then Mervyn replies with a great draw down the backhand. Sticking with the draw, just needs that slight correction. Tucking the jack would be good. Doesn't want to be short. I don't think he's short, Darren, so it goes to a good home again.
Yeah, that's a great effort. Just
1 red.
slightly past the jack, but a good place. Mervyn will just be trying to draw to the last green bowl. If he happens just to turn the jack round the corner, that's perfect. Coming down a slightly narrower line, but there's bowls to use there.
1 red.
This is a big bowl. He's had this position in the match a couple of times now and he's just overplayed it. Easy done because he wants the reach, but just overplayed it and not given it a chance to bend back. It's down a great line again this time. It's all about his pace.
Well, it's finishing well now. Touch on the jack. Oh, he's been unlucky there, really, Darren.
Yeah, it was a much better effort. You know, you can see that ball bending back towards the middle of the rink and he was very unlucky.
And it's finished in quite a good home for just a slight adjustment on his next bowl. Mervyn will want to close that away from him.
Absolutely perfect ball from Mervyn there. Just finished in a great spot.
Not sure what that leaves.
Close for second, Martin.
He's really only got the draw to try and tickle the jack for 2.
Just wonder if he'll look at his forehand runner. He's put it well in this match. I just wonder if he'll take the wee chance here. Just pulled it under. Yeah, he's certainly not been slow in mixing it up, which is a good sign, a good positive sign. Unfortunately, this time he just pulled his runner under, but he was aware he's had a good lot of success from that shot, and he was quite prepared to use it there.
He's not gone up to have a look at the head that many times. He's gone confidently and thought he can open this up and change something. Often speak to the qualifiers about the shot clock and
One
say,
red and a measure.
you know, have you timed your delivery and are you worried about it and all those sort of things? Well, certainly he seems to have taken it all in his stride. He's certainly not worried the shot clock. Nice to see him smile on the rink there. He's playing one of the gentlemen of the game, Mervyn King.
That's what it's all about, you know. It's always difficult coming over here for your first time, but hopefully he's enjoyed the experiences and enjoying it, and if you can take some positives away from it, then you come back stronger.
Yeah, as I mentioned earlier, he's only apparently been playing for a couple of years, competitively certainly, so this is what he's capable of doing after just 2 years playing. We won't ask Mervyn how many years he's been playing, but it was certainly more than 2.
2 shots, Mervyn King.
Absolutely, yes. We'll leave that one there. Another 2 shots to Mervyn throwing the card. And the task for Martin just gets harder and harder.
Yeah, 7-0 with 5 ends to play.
Set score 7-0 after 4 ends.
I think the next couple of ends are crucial for Martin to try and change this jack length, try and count a couple of ends and get himself back into this second set.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, you know, I think when he does look back at the match, the things he'll look at and try and work on for sure is these opening 2 balls. You know, if he can start getting them in towards the jack consistently, he certainly seems to have the shots in his armour. His running shots have been reasonably well played, and you know, if he could start getting these first 2 balls in, he's going to pose more threats.
And that's the good point again about the YouTube streaming we're doing now, is that you can go back at any point in time and have a look at your own game. And I certainly think for some of the qualifiers, you know, it's worth having a look at and just seeing what you could change, what you can improve, where you can go with your game, and nice to look back at as well, the experience, Darren.
Yeah, no, absolutely. You know, we all know what we're trying to do, and some days executing it's easier than others. And as I say, it's always difficult to come from, you know, an overseas qualifying spot and adapt to our conditions, just the uniqueness of the portable rink, all the sort of cameras and everything that goes with a portable rink setup. So a lot for a person to take in on their first visit, let alone being first up in the first match. So I think he's played it reasonably well. As I say, he'll be disappointed perhaps he never took opportunities in the first set that came along, but all in all, he's played relatively steady. Mervyn's just been the more consistent player.
Of course, the winner of this game has the task of facing the winner of one of Monday's games. First game up, defending champion
2 red.
Greg Harlow plays world number 17, Neil Furman. Greg Harlow's won this event the last 2 years. He's going for the treble, and he could be facing his very good friend Mervyn King in the next round, but I'm sure Mr. Furman, our USA qualifier, will have something to say about that.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure the whole field has put a target on Greg's back, you know, once, twice. That's just getting greedy. Not a 3rd time, surely.
1 red.
Yes, an Englishman coming up to Scotland and winning the Scottish title, Darren. It's last year's final against Paul Foster was an amazing game to witness.
Yeah, and some people just, you know, like a venue. I know that
1 red.
Greg and Kay, when she comes up, like it here, you know, and if you like the venue, then sometimes you produce your best bowls. It's kind of the same down at Potters when you look at sort of Alec Marshall and Paul Foster's record. It's a venue they just, the moment they walk in, they seem to like. So yeah, you get venues like that.
Well, he's playing a runner again, hoping for a little bit of fortune. Yeah.
Great shot.
Great
really.
shot.
Possibly
Now that's
a 2.
just what he needed at this stage, Darren. 2 on the card.
2 shots, Martin Head.
It just again confirms, you know, if he was if he was producing his first bowler 2 into the head, he has all the shots there. That was
Set score
probably a more
7-2
firm runner
after
than
5
we've seen him
ends.
playing, and he yet again struck the target perfectly. To people watching, I always, when I go back from events, even non-bowlers that sometimes watch if I'm bowling, they'll say, well, that drive shot's just unfair. I think, at times it's made look pretty easy on the telly, and we all know, having played the sport, that it's not the easiest of shots. It's there's a lot of times you miss more than you hit, and as I say, he's executed very well.
He's been on target, apart from the one lucky, fortuitous one in the first set, but he's still been in the
That
area
makes
all the
27
time with
metres,
that
27.
runner. But as we mentioned earlier, he's qualified from a really tough qualifying region, South Africa, and we know some of the names that he's beaten to actually get here. First time out of South Africa. That in itself is a daunting experience for somebody travelling this sort of distance and then facing, as Darren mentioned earlier, the cameras and the set, and having to face the world number 14.
Absolutely, and I think, at the end of the day, you can practice as many times as you want, but practice isn't match play, and you could be rolling them up there very well in practice, and when it comes to match day, the things change. Your opponent's on the rink with you. You're not just rolling balls yourself. There's a lot more to contend with. So,
can this slip past Mervyn's bowl? Probably just slipped in for shot.
Last bowl from Jack High's 2 feet.
Mervyn asking the question. 2 feet allows Mervyn to know that if he plays this right, he can draw around that ball no problem. Looks like he's just down a narrow track. And just slightly underplayed it as well.
On green.
I think a lot of the players favour a swinging bowl on the portable rink. That's why a lot of the Taylor players, if they haven't got swinging professional AC bowls, they go to internationals, and Drake's Pride go from professionals to XPs, and Henselite tend to use Tigers. It all tends to go to the swingier bowl, Darren, really.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think that's why, conditions in the southern hemisphere and northern hemisphere are so different, that you go to some of these countries like New Zealand and Australia where the greens are playing so fast. You need to get a tighter model ball that holds its line. Whereas when we come here to our sort of faster indoor surfaces, we're still looking to play with a bigger swinging ball, because we think that will give us the advantage we need. If there's a ball short of the head, more often than not, a top player in the UK will try and come round it. Sometimes you go in the southern hemisphere and it's the opposite. You're trying to come inside bowls on the narrower line. So, yeah, just a different challenge.
Mervyn was just having a look at that. I'm just wondering if he's thinking about trying to play Martin's bowl out. Would really finish this game off if he did. But Martin's bowl might get a piece of the jack on the line.
Yeah, that's his only gamble. It wouldn't be normal for Mervyn to attack too much, but
You'd think there was plenty of room to draw, but he looks like he's looking down that attacking bowl. All his bowls are coming into the head. Oh, he got the perfect result off his own short bowl.
yeah, I think for Mervyn to have played that, he must have been fairly confident that nothing was going to come onto the jack.
Mervyn's looking for 2, I think.
Two shots, Mervyn King.
Well, 9-2 up.
Set score 9-2 after 6 ends.
When you see a player, playing a shot like Mervyn just played there, there's all sorts of things go through the player's mind. You're always looking at what you're going to gain out of it, against what what you could lose if it goes wrong. And once you've weighed up these percentages, it will tend to swing you whatever way you're gonna go. And just Mervyn, if he got a bad connection there, could have lost 2 or 3, but he obviously felt quite confident that couldn't happen. And
meters, 28.
if he got rid of the ball, there was a chance he was going to make 2 or 3 shots, which he did.
Well, Mervyn's opted to go for a 28 metre jack. 29.5 is tee to tee here on the portable rink. He's been playing predominantly 23 and 24 metres. Just fancied getting his arm back, and well, what can you say? Perfect opening bowl really from Mervyn there, with a 9-2 lead as we go into end 7.
Yeah, absolutely, and Mervyn just has to score this end, and that's the match over, so can't ask for a better start than that, really. Back toucher almost.
Urging that one on, just pulled up short.
Yeah, I think we all like to do that, throw our arms forward.
I think it's going to make a difference.
Never seen the ball go any further, but we all like to try it.
A wry smile off Mervyn there at the back. Well, that was a loose ball from Martin there. It's quite interesting. I don't think, Darren, in all the times we've commentated, I don't think I've seen a game where very rarely a player's gone up to the head to have a look. There's been a few times, but he's going quick. In the area again. This forehand runner's pretty good, but didn't get the desired effect that time.
No, but he's executed that forehand runner really well. He's been, even when he has missed a couple of times, he's been really close, and a couple of occasions he's been close to getting 2 balls out and just taking 1 out, so he's been in the zone with that forehand runner.
Martin's wandering up now to have a look.
I see no reason. The game's against him. In my opinion, his strongest shot has been his forehand runner. I see no reason why he should change that. I think he just has a bit of fun. Forehand runner, see what you get, hit the target, that's the main thing.
Certainly down the forehand. First one that looks under the line, Darren.
Yep, just pulled up now.
2 shots, second set and the match to Mervyn King.
Mervyn will be delighted, safely through first match of the event, and he goes into the second round.
Yeah, it was quite a comfortable game there for Mervyn, but Martin certainly played some good shots there. And join us after a short break for a really exciting game with Jonathan Ross versus Perry Martin. Join us after this short break.
former national singles champion, co-op tour card winner from England, Perry Martin. Has won national and British Isles titles, world ranked number 15 from Scotland, Jonathan Ross. Hand you over to commentary with Darren Burnett and Janice Gower.
Well, thanks very much, Tom, for that introduction. It's been a while since I've heard "I'm too sexy for my shirt," Darren. Thank you for joining me again in commentary for this game.
Absolutely. Must have been a special request from Johnny.
Well, this is going to be an interesting game. It's the second game here at the Co-op Funeral Care Scottish International Open 2017. And it's live and active at the Dewars Centre in Perth. Jonathan Ross, in red, is ranked 15 in the world. And Perry Martin on the mat in green has won the tour card. That means he gets to play in all three of the World Ranking Tour events this season. He beat Billy Jackson in the final of that, so... And those on the English circuit will certainly know Perry. One of the few people in history to win both the national singles and the national under-25 singles, and then went on to top that by following it up with the British Isles as well. So, good singles player, Perry Martin. Jonathan Ross has been on the tour for a number of years, Darren. Never won a ranking event, but always tends to just get through those first two rounds.
Yeah, absolutely. This should be a great match, actually. You know, it's one of the first round matches that stood out. Johnny, just over the last year or two, has started to slip down the rankings, so he'll be aware he needs to probably have a good year this year. If Perry keeps this up, it's going to be a really tough match.
I know the viewers like to know what the players are playing with out there. Jonathan, I believe, is playing with his Taylor Ace. Again, we've mentioned that sometimes the Taylor players swap to the International, which is a slightly swingier bowl.
One green.
And Perry, obviously his first time on the portable rink, went out with lots of different sets of bowls. Normally plays with the Henselite Evo bowl, the new Henselite bowl. But he's gone to good old faithful Tigers, the green birds that a lot of the Henselite players like to play with if they're playing green. And I think they might have a little bit of remote control in there, Darren, at the moment.
Yeah, he's played three down, excellent lines. He's lined a couple of shots. Johnny wasn't too far away with his last, he just ran through a bit too far, so slight adjustment from Johnny required. His line was good the last time.
Playing a runner, looks under the line here. Perry will want to try and get something just behind, I would think, if that's what he thinks that Jonathan's going to play with his last bowl.
Yeah, not much of a target, to be honest, so slightly surprised to see Johnny go attacking that. He wasn't too far away with his last draw, but...
Perry's changed his delivery over the years. Quite happy with the way he delivers bowls now. Very consistent. Played in the England versus Wales Test match on ITV4. If any of you viewers out there watch avidly the bowls on TV. I've got to say, part of the successful win in England's side, because I was part of that team as well. It was a good couple of days away, and Perry is certainly the life and soul of the parties of events like that. He always gets us smiling.
Now, Janice, some would say that you've not mentioned the England-Scotland test matches.
No, well, that's why I thought I'd mention the one that England actually won. Unfortunately, we lost the ladies and the gents against Scotland Test series, or Test matches rather.
After one end.
But again, as you were mentioning with the draws, Darren, sometimes the players in green are not expected to win. But in this case, Perry, very well known on the England circuit from the Swale Club. I'm sure there's a few players down in Swale supporting Perry today. A few people watching in. A shout out to everyone there, and of course Jonathan Ross is from the Paisley Club in Scotland, which is where the Senior International Series is going in March next year. So a shout out to all Jonathan's Paisley colleagues.
Yeah, I mean, I think the important thing for Perry is, unlike perhaps an overseas qualifier, he's probably quite familiar with the ball he's using, and all he's trying to do is get himself used to the speed and the conditions of the portable rink. That's really all he's trying to counter here. He'll be very comfortable with the ball he's using. He'll probably have used them quite a bit in this his own club and stuff in other competitions, so he'll be used to the ball. It's just a case of getting used to the actual portable rink. So a slight advantage for obviously UK qualifiers coming here, and this, as I say, has got the potential to be an excellent match. If Perry brings the game he can play here, which he certainly has done so far, then Johnny's going to have to be at the top of his game.
Well, certainly unlike we were mentioning about Martin Head in the previous game, Perry's played under TV situations. He's never played obviously on the World Bowls tour, but he won the tour card at Blackpool back in May, which the finals are played under the shot clock in red and green, and it gets you that familiarisation with how it's going to be when you actually get to the events. A 9-hour drive up he had the other day, Perry. I know somebody else that had played in that test match representing England that week, Darren, that I had the chance to play the triples with, will be watching in, and familiar name to all of you out there, Ian Bond. And Ian Bond mentioned that he might have a go at qualifiers next year, Darren. It would be good to see Ian back on the tour.
Yeah, absolutely. A character, certainly, Ian, and had some good battles with Ian over the years, at, not just in this event, but obviously at internationals, and nice guy on and off the green, Ian. So yeah, it'd be good to see him coming back, giving it a go.
Well, Jonathan's managed to slot a shot in there, 1 to red at the moment. Can Perry just reach to that jack? Took it out of the sight of Jonathan Ross. Doesn't like it, just overplayed it.
Yep, so Johnny with a chance to repeat his last delivery, try and get his two back this end, and even the match.
Little stamp of his foot when he delivered that, which normally means a player thinks they're quick, but it looks fairly decent for pace, this.
One shot, Jonathan Ross.
Yeah, he sort of indicated he thought he was slightly quick. In actual fact, he probably needed to turn another quarter ball further just to make the shot he needed. But one on the card for Johnny, so he'll get to choose his jack length now.
If you can't stay with us here live, don't forget you can pick up all the results and news on worldbowlstour.tv website. For those viewers that were half asleep this Saturday morning, I hope our shot clock has woken you up there, and that's the noise that the shot clock makes when it counts down. But neither of the players in violation of the shot clock, so play continues.
It sounded a bit like my alarm clock this morning after my late shift at work last night, so it was about the same noise the alarm clock made this morning.
Oh dear. I actually had one of those rare mornings where I woke up before the alarm clock. I like those mornings where you don't actually hear the alarm clock and you get to turn it off first. Couple of loose opening bowls. Perry holds shot at the moment. We're also on Twitter at World Bowls Tour, and that's WBT_TV. Of course, you're probably watching us on either Facebook Live or our live streaming. We're with you for every bowl sent at the World Bowls Tour events, and thank you so much for all your positive comments and your feedback. We always try and improve every year, and this year we have gone up another 2 cameras. We now have 7 cameras for you. We have got the Facebook chat on one of our many TV screens here, so if you do have any questions you'd like to put to myself or Darren while we're in commentary. Darren's with me for the rest of this game. And after the short lunch break, start at 2 o'clock, I've actually got Dan Blewett, who's marking the game at the moment, in commentary with me. So any of your umpiry type rules questions, please fire away and we'll get Dan to answer them after lunch. He's coming in for a really exciting game. Stuart Anderson versus Michael Stepney. They'll have met a few times as well, Darren, over the years.
Yeah, absolutely, 2 quality players. Another excellent first round match that could go either way. You know, I think that'll be a good match for those watching.
Well, Jonathan Ross holding 2 here at this end. Probably Perry's loosest end so far.
Johnny just running round the back here for a bit of cover. Pretty good position.
2 red.
Decision time for Perry here, whether he feels he can still draw this or whether he wants to attack it more. This certainly is
It's on a high line. To get on the outside of that red bowl of Jonathan's, it's going to get wrecked.
that was a tough shot. I'm in a bit confused as to whether he wouldn't have just tried to draw that off the backhand where there was a ball just to rest onto. He chose to try and draw it off the forehand, which was very difficult.
Just had a message through from Robert Gordon, who's obviously glued to the TV screens this morning, to correct the fact that Jonathan Ross has actually moved to the West of Scotland club. He now no longer plays at Paisley. So thank you for that, Robert. Flash Gordon representing the Scottish qualifiers at the World Championships in January. Jack delivered off the rink. That means Perry gets to choose where he puts the mat and sends the jack, but Jonathan Ross sends the first bowl to the jack. The other shout out I'll just quickly give, Darren, is to the lady that played the mixed pairs in the test match with Perry Martin, Laura Holden, has tuned in and just messaged me. There's quite a few people watching. We've got quite a lot of people tuning into this match, which we always thought was going to be one of the first round ties.
Yeah, absolutely. And as our event here starts, I know that one down under in Australia has just come to a conclusion. The World Outdoor Champion of Champions has just been wrapped up today, and a good performance from the UK-based players. Quite a few of them qualified. I believe Laura Daniels had made the final. Unfortunately, not had a chance to check on these results yet, but she was certainly carrying the flag for the UK and was in the final of the ladies' event. So
2.5 inches.
good performance.
Laura's been a previous Ladies World Match Play winner, and actually I know he's one of the ladies going to compete at the Bromley qualifier for the Ladies World Match Play, which is in a couple of weeks' time. So good player, Laura.
Johnny just starting to put balls in here. Two good openers.
Yes, and of course this was to Perry's length of jack. Interesting delivery Perry's adapted to now, certainly different from his previous delivery. Is he close? Is he close? What a bowl, Perry Martin.
Yeah, good reply there. Still chances for Johnny though.
Yeah, he's got anything for down this this hand here, really. Anything into this area turns his own bowl up.
Yeah, it just depends how firm he wants to play this. He could actually sort of just, run the green ball right out of there and lie 2 or 3. Or
play down that and just take the green ball out. Well, he's made his mind up, playing it now. That's what he opted for, Darren.
yeah, just a ball out, but you'll know that shot will still be available, so Perry needs to try and just get another ball in the head here. Very well played here. Excellent ball.
And Johnny will come and have a look at this again.
2 green.
Yeah, I think Johnny has to come and have a look. I don't think it will change his shot. I think he will still continue to play a forehand runner. Be looking to get either just the inside of the widest green ball and squeeze across onto the jack. If he pushes one of his own red ones in, then he's got a chance as well. So, don't think much will change for Johnny. I think it's still a forehand runner.
Well, looks in the area. Now it's all on the result. Yeah, it's got the result of taking the jack into the ditch, but it does give Perry Martin, experienced skip,
1 green.
a chance to draw for 2 again. It's one of those, he really wanted his own bowl to go with the jack, really, Darren. It left a lot of room for Perry here.
Yeah, I think Johnny knew if he got his own red ball, he was always going to be pushing the jack through, but I think his hope was he would at least push his own red through for the shot, and Perry would probably draw with his last one, as he's going to do, but he's actually going to lose a 2 because his own didn't follow through.
2 shots. Perry Martin.
4-3 to Perry Martin.
Set score 3-4.
As expected.
After 4 ends.
Tight game. And the winner of this game actually faces that
Jack length 24.5
Stuart
meters,
Anderson, Mike
24.5.
Stepney game winner. Some good games throughout this event at the Cot Funeral Care Scottish International Open. Also this afternoon we have Jamie Chesney playing Daniel Alanim. Jamie Chesney, the International Open champion back in March. Got Andy Thompson MB versus Steve Halmai from Australia. Mark Dawes from Blackpool Newton Hall versus Graham McKee from Ireland. And the final game on today is Les Gillett versus Scott Edwards. Scott Edwards, PBA ranked 1. He'll have played Les Gillett many times. Be some interesting games today, folks, so stay with us if you can. And if you can't stay with us today, join us at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning, where the man sat next to me, Darren Burnett, will take to the rink in his first round game against an Australian qualifier, Simon Alden. It's quite nice to get that first game up and running, isn't it, Darren? Get out there.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, the alarm will be set early for my short commute down here to the venue, but yeah, absolutely. I think you know you're playing at that time, and you're not relying on how long a match is going to take. So I think every player probably likes to get the first match of a session, and you know exactly when you're going to be on.
Yes, that's right. Of course, when we have the 5 back-to-back games this afternoon, you never really know when a game's going to start, which makes preparation for players something key before you actually go on to play. Like you say, before the first game in a session, you get the half an hour practice as well before you play. And we can always send the shot clock through for your alarm clock for tomorrow morning, Darren, if you want it.
Yeah, there are some mornings I would probably need it.
Again, Perry Martin building up a nice head in his favour. Jonathan Ross has got to change something.
Johnny choosing just to try and draw this off the forehand, obviously preferring that side of the carpet.
All on his pace.
Just think he's going to pull up here. There's nothing to catch on that side. He has to just be the perfect weight. On the backhand he did have a ball to roll up to, and if he rolled onto the jack he has a chance. So must have been confident he could just play that with the right weight. Not much of a target here, so I think Perry might just elect just to draw into the head and put the pressure on.
Yeah, opting to play it down the forehand. Doesn't want to build that target up for Jonathan. Would ideally like to slot another shot in down this forehand. Looks close.
Yeah, I think he's good enough. Definitely lined 3 shots there, so
That does give Jonathan a length bowl on the forehand now to rest off, if he's preferring that hand. Playing a reaching sort of weight to make sure he reaches to this green bowl. Is he going to, though?
I just worry he's not reaching. He was down a tighter track as if he was trying that, but he just didn't push through it.
3 shots, Perry Martin.
Set score 3-7 after 5 ends.
Well, that puts Perry Martin in the driving seat. He's a very, very experienced singles player. Plays a lot of the open singles circuits, competitions, but particularly well known for winning the national and the under-25s. sure he liked that.
Jack length 25 metres, 25.
He didn't look happy with that jack delivery. Clicking his fingers normally means a player thinks they're running. Loads of concentration from Perry.
Certainly a better start from Johnny this time.
Nice wide line here from Jonathan. Make it all the way back. That's really just what he needed to try and get back into this set, but it still left a little bit of a rest there for Perry.
Yeah, he's deciding to attack this early. Looks like he's just under.
Taking one of his own away.
Decision time for Johnny. Does he try and just draw in and turn his own ball around the corner, take the catch away? Or does he go deeper?
He's tried to split the two green bowls, but Perry's still got that target. I think he'll go again. Yeah. Gone quicker.
Yeah, just I think that was the decision Johnny had to make. He either had to try and draw into the head, which he was maybe trying to do in fairness, and just overplayed it, or he had to run really deep for cover so that if Perry did do that, Johnny would have been drawn for two here. Instead, it's almost, we could say, one shot to Johnny Ross. I don't think he's going to fail here. He's got loads of room.
Well, the jack's gone on the respot, and the bowl of Perry Martins is a good couple of metres away, so Johnny Ross will counter shot here for sure.
One shot, Jonathan Ross.
Set score 4-7 after 6 ends.
Well, frequently hear us say about seventh ends of 9 end sets being key, and I think this is one, because Perry can win this end. It gives him a nice 4-shot or more buffer going into the last 2 ends, but Jonathan can win this end. It really brings the set back into his grasp.
Jack length 29.5 metres, 29.5.
Of course, Perry is a sales manager for Henselite and Greengage, so as Darren mentioned, he'll have good use of his Henselite bowls. He'll be well versed in what they'll do, especially if he has to go out there and sell them. But, favourite food, pizza. Domino's pizza in particular.
Good line here from Perry. I think his ball will make its way back to the middle, no problem. Yeah, good start.
Very deliberate on the mat. Stance and then delivery. He's quite a tall player, is Perry Martin, so see that delivery where he has to crouch down to deliver the bowl.
One red.
Now Jonathan's just going to have a look at this because I think he'll want to know what position that green bowl's in. You can ask the markers. The markers are very good and very quick with responses for you. But sometimes you just want to know yourself where the bowl's positioned. Picture it in your head. Called a timeout.
Yeah, Perry's made this a bit of a difficult head now for Johnny. I mean, slightly surprised Perry moved on to that side because I felt he was always going to trail the jack back towards Johnny. I think Johnny will also be very aware of these two green balls just sitting in behind, and even if he could draw and split the two of them, I think that would be a good shot. Ideal results, obviously, sitting on the back green ball and a back toucher, but I think ideally he just wants to probably come and split these two green balls.
Perry sticking with the forehand. Really a shot he could have played here off either hand. Got a tighter line. Needs to be the right weight for this to hold. We'll ask him about that one later, Darren.
Yeah, he just underplayed. He obviously aware he's only got one in there, so he's not wanting to overplay it. Although Johnny's got three balls really in close, there's nothing really he can really do here apart from just sort of draw again, try and find another one into that area.
He's opted for going wide to cover the re-spot.
Yeah, I think he realised there was no way he could add another shot there, so he's decided just to go out very wide. I don't think Perry can really gamble here and play this, because if he finds the gap to his own green ball and takes it out, he's going to lose a 3. So I think it's just a full draw for Perry. Try and rest Johnny's ball out there, he might get it to himself.
Clicking his fingers, doesn't like it. Overreached. Played the positive bowl.
Jonathan Ross.
Set score 5-7 after 7 ends.
But, 2 in it, 2 ends to play. All the way, this was going to be a tight game on the cards. Pressure on Jonathan Ross to try and stay in the top 16. And of course Perry will be fancying his chances of tying a few games together in each of the ranking events to get himself into the top 16, which is the way that Mark Dawes got into the top 16, won a tour card, tied a few games together, got into the top 16.
Yeah, these two tour cards certainly give people opportunity to do that. You know, still a bit old school. I'm going to show my age and saying, fortunately, I had to, like some others, work the hard way and qualify in each event. But the tour card definitely gives the player a chance to compete in all the ranking events for the season. And as you can see, you know, the ranking list itself down at that position, sort of from 14 down the ranking list to probably mid-20s. It's very tight.
Great ball there from Perry.
What's the gap? 6 inches.
Yeah, the vast majority now of the top 16 have come through the qualifiers, Darren, which is always a good advert for the qualifiers, the strong qualifiers, but join the PBA branch in your area and have a go. Tour card is an open event as well to PBA members. You just have to win them and then you give yourself a chance. Good reply there from Jonathan.
Yeah, some good balls here now from the players. Have settled into the speed of the rink, and quality of the heads has been good the last couple of ends.
Great effort from Perry there, just
One red.
overplayed, but certainly goes to a good home for his next delivery. Very confident player. Perry speaks his mind. Always open to talk to any of the public that are about. But as is Jonathan. Very sociable player is Jonathan. On and off the rink.
Yeah, absolutely. Jonathan just trying to get another ball in here. He's coming down a slightly narrower line, but his weight's holding him up. Just a case of whether he can get the... He got a nice edge. He did get a nice
Nice
edge.
little glide there. Perry's still got the same sort of shot. Just trail that jack for two. It's gone heavier.
He's underplayed it. There is a chance, no matter what hand Perry plays, he can flick his own green ball out of there and get nothing, but I just thought he might have attacked that off the forehand, because the front plant looks like it's going to push his ball right in towards the ball in the jack, so it'll be interesting when he comes to visit the head here, whether he changes his decision for his last ball. As for Johnny, he's laying a good 2, that puts him right back into the set. I really think he's possibly got to run for some cover at the back of the rink, just in case Perry gets it absolutely perfect. I think if he puts in the best back ball, then he's a chance of still at least scoring one this end if the jack's pushed through.
Jonathan has 3 timeouts remaining.
Another timeout taken, but it's a vital point in the first set here. End 8, one end to play after this.
Two options for Johnny here. He either tries to beat the back green ball and say to Perry, right, you go again, if you take your own out you lose a 4, or he just runs for cover and puts the best back one in.
Body language didn't like that.
He's elected for the best back. I think that's a good decision.
The thought for Perry Martin's shot here from Darren is possibly to play up to that, to try and play his own bowl into the pack. Still electing to play backhand.
He's cut the weight back a bit, though. He's not near as firm this time. Maybe I'll still get what I said, but off the other hand.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, just
he's
a
flicked the
different
red
hand, and then
ball.
his feet. That was very unfortunate.
It's hard to see for us who's lying there, but he may well have just flicked Johnny Ross's ball back in for the shot and the passing.
I'm calling for Tex. This will be a caliper measure for umpire Dan McManus.
I think when you see that Perry's last ball wasn't played near as firm as his third one, he obviously had visited the head by then. He was aware of the dangers and elected to still play the runner, but just cut some weight out of it where he thought he probably had less chance of taking his own out. He hit the plant that I'd suggested, and he probably laid the shot, but his own ball followed through and just flicked Johnny's ball enough to push it nearer the jack. So it's a tight measure here.
Yeah, feeler gauge is out. We don't often see feeler gauges out. Now a nice close-ups now of these umpires' hands doing these steady hand measures.
Yeah, poor Dan, that was really close for him.
One shot, Perry Martin.
So he did actually get the shot out of that. Then it looked like it was going to be an unfortunate result for Perry Martin, but got shot out of it. That puts him fully in the driving seat going into the last end now. 3 up. Last end of this first set. In one of the games that we all thought was going to be an interesting first round tie. Tour card winner Perry Martin versus world number 15 Jonathan Ross.
Jack length, 25
And what an
and a
important
half
measure
meters,
that is, you know,
25 and a
when we
half.
look at the context of some games, we do say it sometimes comes down to millimetres, and that's exactly what we're talking there. Millimetres separated these two bowls. Set score could easily have been 7-6 playing the last end. Instead, Johnny's now obviously 8-5 down, and it is a difficult ask to score a 3 or 4 at the last end of a set. But he'll try and build the end up, give himself a chance.
Not a bad opener from Perry Martin. Just short of the jack, but that's all he really has to do at this end, is try and put bowls in the area. Jonathan's got the work to do. To the semi-final of the Co-op Funeral Care International Open back in 2015, did Jonathan Ross. It's really kept him in the rankings that year.
Green, last ball.
And struggled in all 3 tournaments last year. Close with this.
Very close. Who's holding shot? We can't just quite tell from our commentary position. I'm sure Dan Blewett, the marker, will let us know what the situation is as soon as he can. Perry's hands out. He thinks he's just overplayed this, which he has. Plan B, I mean, if he had drawn in with this one, his next one was probably going to be going through there, so
One green.
he's kind of got plan B out of that bowl.
Yeah, and it's still 1 green, Darren, so that's
It's a chance though for Johnny, just to arrive, full draw. He can turn the jack 6 inches, he makes a 3. Has to be reaching though. Can't afford to be short on it.
his line was probably quite decent to try and tuck the jack away. Probably underlined it though, but certainly put a few short bowls down today as Jonathan. He's had a few practices on there, but it changes under match conditions and during the day. It changes throughout the day.
Yeah, and to be honest, until you've played the rink, you know, it's probably easy to sit up here and judge. And I know, you know, particularly that type of shot is so difficult, because if he plays it with 3 feet of weight, it's just going to sit on the line and not get back. He's trying to play it with a perfect weight, and in doing so, you just sometimes drop a little short, you know. And to people back home, they're probably quite critical of that, saying how can you be short on that? But you know, he knows his cell. If he plays it with 3 feet of weight, he's not going to get back. He's got to just play this with the perfect weight. Probably looking at no more than a footer running. That's all he's got, really, is to try and just turn that jack for a 3.
Johnny, the front ball sat back towards you.
Shot there of Dan Blewett, our marker, marked the World Singles
Front ball
final
sat back
back
towards
in
you. Okay.
January at Potters. Now, Jonathan, can you just slip past that green bowl?
Great
Looks
effort.
close.
Great effort. I think he's played this. Oh, has it ran too far?
That was why you said Perry needed a bowl at the back there, Darren.
Super effort from Johnny there. That just shows you Perry's bowl that he
One
didn't
shot,
really
John
like
Frost.
has
First
probably
set,
saved
Perry
him
Martin.
from half in the set.
So the first set goes to Perry Martin, the tour card winner, against world number 15 John Ross. If you can't stay with us, all the results will be on their website worldbowlstour.tv, but try and stay with us because we always thought this was going to be a really, really strong first round game. Got another one coming up straight after lunch at 2 o'clock, Stuart Anderson versus Michael Stepney. Really looking forward to that one, Darren. It'll be a Cracking game, I'm
Jack
sure.
length, 29.5 metres, 29.5.
Yeah, I will be checking my phone regularly just to see how that one's going. I think it'll be a really tight game, very similar to this one really. One end in that first set was probably the difference in the match, where Perry scored a 3, Johnny's loosest end of the game, and it obviously cost him the first set ultimately.
Well, he's opted to go T to T with this. 29.5 metres is the full length jack you can play on the portable rink. Very trendy shoes, those out there. Never seen those ones before. Although, but I doubt be trying to sell those as well. Bless his cotton socks.
Both players start at the end well, 2 good opening balls.
So, good track again here. He'll know how important it is for his ranking to win this second set and give himself a chance in a tie-break.
2 great balls from Johnny. Turned that jack round the corner there, absolutely perfect.
Two red.
It's just made Perry send down a loose ball. What often happens after you've won a really tight first set, you sort of relax that little bit. You know, Perry's guaranteed to have the worst case scenario to go into a tie break, but you often see that happening down just that loose first end of the person that's won the first set.
Running ball there, he just skinned his own out the head. He's actually probably 3 down now. Certainly not made his task any easier.
Yeah, well, four shots probably in the count there. Now Perry, that's not what you want to be doing at the first end of the...
No, and he's forced himself into this difficult shot, just playing over the weight. Just trying to
his body
arrive.
language likes it. I think he thinks he's short. Oh, Perry Martin. Having a look at it. Could be 4.
4 shots, Jonathan.
Yeah, 4 shots at the first end of the second set.
Set score 4-0
And it
after
was all-
one end.
It was all really set up from these first 2 balls of Johnny, and it just shows the importance of getting these first 2 balls operating, because he put a great opener. He then turned the jack round the corner. From there, you know, the end just developed for him. So these first 2 balls were crucial. It's just what Johnny needed, really, to be honest, in such a tight game where he's just lost the first set. To pick up a 4 at the start of the second puts you in a great position.
Jack length, 28.5
So the
metres,
qualifiers
28.5.
played under 7 end sets, and a drop of 4 in that, and it's very, very hard to drag it back. You've virtually got to make sure you're counting nearly every end, whereas he has got a few ends here, but Jonathan's certainly come on to a better lead bowl game here.
Again, yeah, great first ball from Jonathan, keeping the pressure on to Perry. Yeah, they would say if you're going to drop a 4, drop it the first end and give yourself another 8 to recover. But
It's not the best plan though, Darren,
No,
in
no.
fairness. That's better. nice track again here. Makes the trip. 2 shots to Jonathan again. Perry doesn't want to lose another count here. Close bowl, Perry, is what's required.
Johnny's striding up, a bit of life about him now after the start of this set. He's coming up just to check the angles. That's what the players try and do. They're conscious not to get in the bowler's line, but you know they'll try and sneak themselves down the side of the rink just to buy a bit of time, so you're not eating into your own 30 seconds. Just had a quick look at the angles, so you'll know what shots Perry has available. I think Johnny will just try and draw here. If he can just slip round the back, somewhere around Perry's last bowl would be ideal.
Oh, that's not a bad bowl there, because Perry's really got to try and change something. In the area. Well, it's certainly opened it up. 1 bowl left each. You often consider this a 1 bowl shootout. Lots of room to draw there to get shot. I think Jonathan's still holding 1 at the moment.
Yeah, this bowler, Jonathan, he knows he's line 1, so that's a bonus for him. If he can sort of put this one, within a couple of feet of the ditch, then it sort of has the pressure onto Perry, because he'll then be 2 down, and he knows he can't lose his bowl in the ditch. So I think it's all the key to Johnny's bowl here is he wants to try and get within at least a couple of feet of the ditch here.
Red.
Still a bit of room there for Perry.
Yeah, Jonathan will be a wee bit disappointed there. He's left a wee bit of room here.
Now, Perry, I think this is all on your pace. I think he's made it.
One shot, Jonathan Ross.
Well, both players would be disappointed with the last deliveries there. I thought
Set
Perry might have
score
just had a wander up
5-0
just to
after 2
settle
innings.
himself.
Yeah, I think you're probably right, actually. I mean, it was a straightforward draw. He wasn't going to change his mind, but you're right in the context of Johnny dropping a wee bit short. He should have maybe just bought himself some time. Quick wander down, and often just does the trick. But yeah, I mean, it was both players' last bowls were probably a wee bit disappointing just in the standard of the game. So Johnny will be quite happy. He scored a 1.
Jack length,
5-0
meters,
in the second
29
set. Perry Martin won the first set. Sticking to this 29.5 to length Jack. Certainly made a difference in this second set. Another good lead here from Jonathan.
Yeah, I think that's been the difference in this second set. Johnny's first bowl's been excellent.
Close here from Perry, just going to not make the trip, but it was a good effort. Pacing down a little bit now, Perry Martin pacing up and down behind the mat. Just needs to settle himself because Jonathan Ross has been here before. Knows all he has to do is just play steady bowls, and he gives himself a chance of going into a tie break.
Good line, Perry. Just where you get back to this jack. Oh, small piece, but not enough. Consolation is he can now see the jack, so.
Yeah, Jonathan will be looking to take that shot away and took this jack back away.
Forehand draw for Perry. Just to try and draw to the jack. Just needs to run on this line. Just looks like he's slightly under. Lacking a bit of running.
Yeah, it was good line for what he wanted, but not enough weight. Again, Jonathan will just be wanting to take that shot away from Perry. Try and tuck that jack just round the corner. He looks on a good track for it again.
Very well played. Yeah, that's absolutely perfect. Was a chance of the green ball pushing onto the red and taking it out. He's taken that away, and he's the way he's set it up. He's red ball at the back's in the perfect spot now.
And Perry opting to go quicker at this. Not sure again whether that's gone out the side confines of the ring. Yeah, Dan Blue, it's just picking it up there. Goes on the respot. I still think it's one red.
One shot, Jonathan Ross.
Yeah, it was that red ball of Johnny's at the side that I pointed out just a minute or so ago there. It was always in a great position.
It was kind of a hit and hope shot, but might have been a bit of frustration there as well from Perry. 6-0 after 3 ends to the world number 15, John Ross, against Perry Martin from England in this Co-op Funeral Care Scottish International Open 2017.
29.5 metres, 29.5.
Again, all been down to this opening bowl, really, Darren. If he puts another good lead in here, he's played these lead bowls this second set very well, which sets the whole nature of the end up just slightly short with that one. Opportunity for Perry.
Yeah, absolutely. And only consolation for Perry in the set is he doesn't have to win it. He just has to draw the set to win the match, having won the first set. So he'll be aware if he can put 2 or 3 ends together, he'll be back in this set with a chance. And that's the type of bowls that will win him the ends.
Yeah, one an end would do him, wouldn't it? But, just really needs to settle himself and get back into this second set. As Jonathan Ross certainly has a look of determination about him now.
Just going to get caught in his own bowl there, so chance for Perry to add a second.
One green.
That showed Perry's frustration with that bowl. Slap of his hands. Super experienced bowler is Perry Martin for his young 24 years of age. Another opportunity to slot another shot in here. Urging this one on. Needs to run to pass the red one.
Just enough. Yeah, good ball.
2 green.
And he was disappointed with that, but it's counting 2, so pressure goes back to the world number 15. Just notice your opponent is actually sat in the crowd taking this all in, Darren.
Yeah.
Obviously picking up tips for tomorrow morning.
Yeah, Johnny was always just under there, just under his target. So yeah, chance for Perry here to half the deficit in one end.
Yeah, it's chances like this you've got to take when you've got that opportunity to add another shot. But then it's easier said than done. And up here we never play a bad bowl. It's on a decent line, all on his weight. Can it make the trip?
2 shots. Perry Martin.
It's on the card. He'll be disappointed
Set
not to have
score
slotted that
6-2 after
shot
4
in,
nets.
because he'll know himself how important every shot is, but gets him on the scorecard, means he can change that length of jack. Definitely delivered a shorter length jack, Perry.
Jack length 25 meters, 25.
Nice line here on his pace, which looks decent too. Good start.
Good track from him. John, I think he's just going to pull up short. That really has been the story of the game, hasn't it? Who's ever got to the jack first has really dominated the end. Proves how key that opening bowl is.
My ball, please. Your bowl, 2 feet from jack high.
Johnny's sticking with his hand here. Just trying to add that 2 feet. Very good effort here.
Great effort. If it sits down, it's got a chance.
Green.
Still 1 green, but it gives him something to work with, but it also gives Perry something to rest off. Perry short here. Gives John the opportunity now, rest his own bowl.
Something wrong with this one. Johnny just under the line, under the weight. It's a forehand draw for Perry, I think. Just, as you say, try and rest Johnny's red ball for 2.
Yeah, rests, lifts that ball, he gets nice 2, which again puts the pressure back on John. Perry's scored 2 at the previous end, another 2 here would be just what the Perry Martin fans would want. I think he's short, not reached with this. Oh, isn't it so easier said than done?
Absolutely. I think he left the chalk on it from the last end, and we'll give him the benefit of the doubt and maybe slowed it down a wee bit.
Clicking his fingers normally means Johnny thinks he's quick.
One shot, Perry Martin.
Yeah, and another one of these ends where the first ball played won the end.
Set score 6-3 after 5 ends.
6-3, 3 shots in it. As you mentioned before, Darren Perry only has to tie this set. He won the first set, 8-6, so got a great chance of still managing to tie this set. He's certainly preferring the shorter length jack to Johnny Ross's 29.5 metre jack. Gone shorter still here.
Jack length 25.5 metres, 25.5.
Very good line. Well, not as close as the opening bowl at the last end, so opportunity for Jonathan Ross here.
Yeah, and a good ball from Jonathan. Taking the opportunity.
He's certainly watching this bowl. It's all on his weight again. Close, Perry. Tell all the time from his body language there he liked that bowl.
Very close, slight favour for green. Time out called. Your red ball, 7 inches short of jack high with a gap of about 5 inches. 5-inch gap, 10 inches short of jack high.
A lot of information there to process.
Yeah, draw a picture.
Pulled it under. Just looking for that inside line there, Johnny, but it's a tough one that, you know, he played a great first ball and really just had to repeat it. I think if he touches his own ball at all, he's about to lie the shot.
And that tighter line can make you look silly, can't it? It can be just pure millimetres that he's missed that line by, and it dips right under.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we've all been caught out with that one. Perry's just trying to slide another ball into the head here.
Yes, 1 green.
Yeah, certainly shunted his own bowls. That's made it a definite 1 green now. Jonathan's got to make sure he reaches this to change something. Now, what's his weight like?
Close. I think he'll be quite happy with that. He's got 2 in the head now. It's not easy for Perry, to be honest. From where we are looking, it looks like the red ball would push onto the green and push it right out there past the jack. So Perry will be aware of that. Probably feels he needs to try and somehow get another ball into the head, but that's easier said than done.
opting for down the forehand positional here.
I think the key to this is, obviously the angle's just not perfect for us to see here, but if Johnny's front red one pushes onto the green and it just passes the jack with no movement, there's a chance for Johnny to just arrive here down the forehand. He'll be looking for his middle red ball there. It's right in the middle of the rink. Pushes that onto the green, and if the green passes the jack, there's a chance he'll lie a couple.
Under the line, I think, Darren.
Yeah, certainly what he was trying to. He had the weight to do it. Just
One shot, Perry Martin.
as you say, under the line, and
Jonathan has 2 time outs
I
remaining.
think Perry will be quite delighted to escape with a win there.
Set score 6-4 after 6 ends.
6-4, 3 ends to play. It's nail-biting last 3 ends here. Again, shorter length jack.
Jack length 24.5 metres. 24.5.
Certainly been suiting the Perry Martin game, the shorter length jack. Needs a good opening bowl here. Played it down the forehand, it's not a bad one, just slipping through.
Johnny will be trying to refocus here, try and get himself back into this end. It's a big end for him. He was 6-0 up a few ends ago, so this is a big end for Johnny. He'll be keen to try and score it.
Well, they've won 3 ends each in this second set, but the difference is the 4 at the first end. Jonathan Ross picked up the 4 just after Perry had a very tight opening set. Looks closer here.
Yeah, good adjustment from Perry there.
To green.
Jonathan won't be happy with that. Underline and underweight again.
No, it's like he's sort of fighting the line a wee bit at these shorter jacks, and the consequence is that he's now losing his weight as well, so it's definitely the longer jacks have suited Jonathan better, but Perry's putting him in there, putting him under pressure.
Holding 3 at the moment. Don't know whether body language like that or not. No, definitely didn't like that. Makes you wonder if the pressure's just getting to Jonathan now. Perry's hot on his heels.
I mean, I think at this stage, you know, and when you're down there on the ranking list, there's no doubt about it that it's all about confidence, you know, and you know, you can see when Johnny gets his first one in there, he builds up great heads, but I think the difficulty is that when you struggle with your first bowl or two, it's then playing the bowl that gets you out of the pressure you've put yourself in. So this is a big last bowl from Johnny. He does not want to drop 3 shots here, and particularly the manner of the 3 shots. It's just been 3 drawn in there, there's nothing changed, so it's a big bowl from Johnny. He's more than capable of playing it. He'll certainly be looking to get second shot if nothing else.
Well, Perry's obviously decided that the best bet is not to set up any sort of target for Jonathan, gone deep. Drawing in here. Looks on a good track again. Great bowl.
Excellent bowl from Johnny Ross. tight for shot.
One shot, Jonathan Ross.
Hot shot.
Absolutely perfect ball. You know, he would have been happy with second shot there. There's no doubt about
Set
it.
score 7-4
After his first 3
after
deliveries,
7
he would have walked out of there losing a one quite happily and shook your hand, and he went up there and put an absolute perfect last ball.
So much pressure on that, Darren, and at the end of the day, now that's put him 3 up with 2 ends to play. So he's now in the driving seat of the second set. It's been a very interesting game for the way the scores have gone.
Absolutely, you know, I mean, I can sort of almost see Perry's logic and just staying away from it, but
Jack length.
there's some people who would have probably taken the risk there and drawn the fourth shot, because that really would have been ultimate pressure, you know, to lie 4 and potentially go 2 in front. Would have put Johnny in a heap of pressure. He elected to cover the back and said to Johnny, right, go and draw it, and Johnny came up with the answer.
Look of concentration there from Jonathan Ross. Not a bad opener. Perry needs to score 3 in 2 ends to tie the set and take the game. John can stop that happening. We're going to our first tie break. I think it was one of the games that, before we were talking in commentary, Darren was mentioning could go to a tie break quite
18
easily.
inches short of Jack high.
A few of those on the lineup for today.
Yeah, absolutely. This game had the potential to be a very tight game, and I think we've seen that kind of in both sets.
Good ball there from John. Can't complain about that one. Just finished in a place where Perry just needs to reach and chunk it out. Doesn't want another short bowl because that gives him all sorts of problems. Close. Very close. Great reply.
It's an excellent ball because it was shaping up against Perry there. And he's put an absolutely perfect ball. Come up, rested Johnny's out. He's now giving himself room to add more. So Johnny will just try and repeat his last ball. Get another close ball in.
Green.
Good ball again from John there. Perry just needs to get to that bowl if he can. But he doesn't want to turn his own bowl once, lest he'd give shot away. He's certainly watching this bowl coming down. Just down the forehand, wanting to rest that red bowl. Pulling up, I think.
Yeah, that's the beauty of Johnny's third ball there. He's just fell inside his last one and reduced the amount of room Perry has to draw a second shot. So if he can do the same again, he would almost be lying the shot. I think if Johnny just comes up and sits on his own back bow and falls in, he'll be very close for shot.
Is that going to make it all the way back or hang off? Just overplayed it really. Still hard for Perry to score 2 here because he'd be frightened of turning his own bowl. But he'd like to get the 2 at this end, which would leave him only needing to score 1 shot at the last end.
Certainly seems to be out a nice line, so it's all on pace now, whether he has the right pace.
Great line.
Oh, he's moved the jack.
That was what we were saying he didn't want to do, which push his own bowl. He could push the jack to John's bowl. Umpire Dan McManus coming on to well, I think if this is going to be one to red. It's a huge ask to score a 4 at a last end.
Certainly Johnny's body language when he had a quick look seems to suggest he fancies red.
Oh yes.
One shot, Jonathan Ross.
I think we might be looking at a tie-break, Darren.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's where we're going now. Two key moments really. 2 ends ago, Perry elected to cover the back and Johnny played an absolute perfect last ball, and this end he's just been a touch unfortunate. He wasn't far away from drawing a second shot there, and just the way he touched his front ball, he's pushed the jack and lost the shot. So 2 big moments, and very, very difficult to score a 4 now.
Meters, 29 and a half.
Gone back to the full length jack. Just really needs to put first one in somewhere close. I always think it's very interesting from the commentary position. You see the body language of the players both on the screen that you're seeing at home, viewers, but we also get the body language that you can see from the venue here, and there's certainly a change in which one's the more confident player at the moment.
Yeah, I mean Johnny just looks like a different player at these longer jacks. He's getting consistency. He's picking the right lines, the right weight, and kind of a bit of a role reversal. Perry's just scratching about a wee bit, so it's almost like the 2 lengths are having such a big impact in the match.
Which could impact on the tiebreakers to who takes and gives a jack away. You do have that option within the tiebreak, which we'll come to if we get to a tiebreak, folks. But as Darren says, it seems to have been, they've played their own length, they've dominated. And just on cue, Jonathan puts another bowl close. And Perry's bowl now is virtually jack high or just slightly in front, so chances of scoring a 4 are getting slimmer.
Yeah, very much so. It was in normal circumstances a decent bowl there from Perry, but what he's got to factor in here is how he gets a 4, and with the ball being so far across the rink, almost jack high, it's extremely difficult. As long as Johnny keeps getting inside that, then it's more and more bowls that Perry's going to have to pick off.
Just trying to shake something up a bit now. Give himself a chance with his last bowl of something. 2 bowls would help.
It wasn't far away from what he was looking at. Still don't think it's helped his cause very much, to be honest. I think if Johnny can just sort of put another one in inside the widest screen bowl, then I just really don't see where there's a 4 here.
Perfect position there.
Jonathan Ross in the second set, match tiebreak.
He's not even going to play it.
No, well, there was no way he was going to get a 4 there. So, match tiebreak.
Jonathan won the toss,
Yeah.
he's taking the jack in the first end.
I thought
Yes.
that Johnny's won the opportunity to decide what he wants to do here. He's won the toss, so he's elected to keep the mat. Normally, I would say probably 70 or 80% at least of the times the player would probably give away, but this match has just been so crucial. Whoever's had the length of jack has kind of dominated, as you said earlier, Janice. So I think that's what Johnny's viewed it as. I've won the toss, I can get my jack length and hopefully get the first one in. That's the theory. Sometimes harder to execute.
Yeah, he's opted to take the jack. Like I say, a lot of players would give it away, but this has been a big game as to who's dominated at which length. Jonathan gets a choice now of the jack in the first and third end of the tiebreak if we get as far as the third end. And this is down to who wins the end. It's nothing down to how many shots scored. It's purely the first player to win 2 ends. I think this first bowl going up is key. Dominated on this longer length jack.
I think he's pretty good again. Just has to run the last section. Maybe about a foot short, so there is room.
Just pulling up short there from Perry.
10 inches short of jack high.
It's been harsh on Johnny, saying he was a foot short. He's only 10 inches, so he'll know he just wants to make that slight correction if he can get the first one in here. He's certainly coming down a very nice track again.
Oh, he looks good here, Darren. Took that jack a toucher as well. That always helps when you get further into an end in a tie-break.
Slightly unfortunate just to run off it. He's probably ran off at the same distance he was away to begin with, so a wee bit unfortunate there. He could have pulled it and kept it.
2 feet for Perry would get him to the jack. Doesn't want to be short. Just overplayed it. That's the danger when you're short with your first bowl.
2 red. Your bowl. The gap is 10 inches.
Yeah, still that 10 inches. You were correct, Aaron.
The interesting thing is, as the jack just gets pulled that 10 inches or so back, what you see developing is 3 bowls now just about in the middle of the rink, so there's not going to be a big target. Whoever can sort of draw a front or back toucher here, it's going to be very hard to beat because there's not really much of a target to drive at.
Definitely on the wide track here. Not sure this will make it all the way back to centre. Still chance for Perry. Nervy times, a tie-break ends for players and spectators that particularly want one player or another to win. This is a wide line, Perry.
I think if his weight's good, he'll get back.
Yeah, it'll swing all the way back in if he's a good weight. Urged it on.
One red.
Still 1 red. 1 bowl left to play each at this first end of the deciding tie-break.
Timeout called.
Timeout call, just giving himself that time to compose, decide what he's playing.
That's 2 timeouts for
I think he was trying to get back down there and play it, but you know, most players have a sort of cut-off point in their mind that when they see it on the stop clock, they're not going to go below it, and I think Johnny had just decided that's going to be tight, take it now, and quite right, there's no point in rushing the ball.
Yeah, you get an extra time out in the tie break as well, so still got a couple left. If he turns his own bowl here.
Now then, I just wonder, will Perry come down this forehand with some running? He's got the best back bow in the head. He could just chip Johnny's ball out there.
Perry has 5 timeouts remaining.
Is any movement of the jack, it's going to be good for him. He can even use his wide bow and come back across.
Yeah, anything into that sort of area, Darren, gives him a chance. Well, how's your luck, Perry?
Just got it too full. he was probably right to err on the wide
That's
side
it.
because he had
Jonathan
a chance of coming back in, but just got his own ball too full.
Well, now it's Perry's choice of Jack. Now, does he take it or does he give it to Jonathan? Taking it. Interesting that you often don't see that at this level. You often see players wanting to have that last bowl, but this particularly has been a game of playing their own length. So I think we'll see between a 24.5 and a 25.5 metre Jack here from Perry.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I think at this length that Perry's electing to play, if you gave him 10 inches to draw the shot, he would do it 9 times out of 10 the way he's been playing this length. So
Jack length 27.5 metres, 27.5.
Just push that a little bit further than the length he's been playing. Good opener required.
I know you certainly, as far as openers go, it doesn't get much better than that. It's a good opener.
Johnny just taking his time. He has been favouring the forehand, swap to his backhand here. Fine players, if they can see a piece of the Jack on the other hand, will change. This looks to be running.
I don't think that's where he wanted to be.
No, that gives Jonathan a chance of a bowl to rest off.
Just slightly surprised he changed his hand, to be honest. He'd drawn a good ball in. He adds a footer running down that forehand, which he's been playing well.
I thought he'd have just tried to slip past his own off the forehand. Jonathan might have just overplayed this again. Needs to get back to that green bowl. Great effort. Now, Perry, you've got to change something. You can't give him another opportunity to get to that bowl.
Again, I mean, I'm quite sure Perry's got numerous timeouts there. He could have easily taken one and went down and just studied the head, see the angles. As it transpires, he's just trying to draw in here and just alter it, but I think he's just going to sit round his own. Doesn't really change much.
No, it's not a bad bowl there, but it doesn't change Johnson's shot to rest the green bowl.
Jonathan has two options. I think he keeps the sort of just over the draw shot, or he goes quicker with this one in the hope that he opens it up, gives himself a chance with his last one.
Gone positive. Under the line.
Yeah, but that was the option he was taking. He thought, if I can get this opened up now, it's a one-ball shootout. Decision time for Perry. I think he must cover the back. He's got to cover both three spots really. Leave the head as it is and just hope.
Gone deep. Walk up and close your eyes.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, there is a connection here where Johnny could get almost all three balls out without the Jack moving, but you would have to say you'd have to fancy the Jack has to move if Johnny hits the target. But he could get a connection off of the front one onto the one that's Jack high and back onto the back one. Simply on. I think Johnny's main objective here is just to hit the target.
Jonathan has one timeout remaining.
His only other option is to go back to the shot he tried a couple of bowls ago, which is just to play over the draw and just try and either land on the green ball or trail the Jack through.
Well, he's won the opening end, so it's just a question of where his confidence lays with this shot. positive in the area. How's your luck, Johnny? And that was why Perry needed to be over there.
Presume Perry's got the respot, does he?
Second end, Perry Martin.
Just shows you the Perry almost ran beyond that respot, and that would be a massive difference there. It would have been game over. So
do you take the jack or do you give it away? Last end, it's John's choice. Looks like he's taking it.
yeah, it's another situation where we just introduce one more aspect to the rules, whereby this is the one end in the whole of the match that you can nominate to kill it. So if you feel it's building up against you, you can nominate to kill the end, and each player can successfully kill the end one time, and one time only.
Jack length, 29
You can
and a half
nominate it as many
inches,
times as you want, but
29
once you've
and a
killed it
half.
once, that's your shot over. So it does add a new dimension that players often attack earlier knowing they've got that option.
Well, that longer length jack, Jonathan Ross has led really well too. Looks like it's a good opener again, but it might still give Perry some room. Nice wide line, all on the weight here. Making it back to centre. If it sits down, it's a good ball from Perry Martin. Still room though. Nervy times out there on the rink.
Yeah, it's definitely much nicer up here.
Just under the
yeah,
line.
just under the line here.
Yes, far easier sat here, Darren.
Perry immediately switching, that can mean he's staying well away from this, because he wouldn't be playing this backhand if he was trying to get back to the middle, because he could turn Johnny in. So he's immediately coming round the back to just try and cover an area that he feels Johnny might try and trail it to.
Agree.
To have a look as well. Well, Johnny won't want to be short, so Perry's covered it for if Johnny reaches the jack and pushes it through. It's often in these cases you can't actually cover every shot that's possible. You've got to try and decide which is the percentage place to put your ball. It's a good track. Just overplayed it.
This will be an interesting choice. You know, will Perry just again stay away from it and say to Johnny, if you're good enough to draw that, go and do it.
Well, Perry's still got a reply of a ball with Johnny electing to take the jack. What Perry doesn't want to do, well, he's playing the forehand anyways, is play the backhand and turn Johnny's in. Nice wide draw.
Now we have a situation. Does Johnny try the perfect draw the shot, lie the match? Does he elect to hit it? If he elects to run at this, then does he nominate the kill or not? He has one respot, he doesn't have the other.
Timeout called.
He can call back-to-back timeouts if he's got any remaining, but he needs to make his decision. Up to the mat and play it.
I suppose the other aspect is, has he remembered? Because it won't be the first player that's actually forgot about this rule. It only comes out at the last end of the match, and sometimes you do just forget about it. So, not heard anything so far.
No, and certainly Dan Blewett, the marker, would normally have said it's been nominated to kill, so are we going for the perfect draw? This is a tough ask. Looks down a good track. All on his weight here. All on his weight.
Just too quick.
Just overplayed it.
Third
Perry
end of the
Martin,
match, Perry
the
Martin.
tour card winner, takes the world number 15 out of the draw. Thanks so much for your company this morning, Darren.
Thank you very much. It was a great game. We thought it would be, and yeah, Perry gets through to the next round.
Join us at 2 o'clock for Stuart Anderson versus Michael Stepney. Thanks for your company, folks.